Hello, my beautiful people. What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Danet. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to Just Talk, where we seek and speak nothing but the truth here because we recognize that there's justice in our talk. So today this week's focus is going to be about self-relation, okay? And it's Monday, so why not start with our beautiful, our amazing, our wonderful men, right? So today is Male Monday. Today is Male Monday. And we're going to be talking about the relationship that you as a man have with yourself, right? So what does it mean to relate to yourself, right? Self relation. To relate simply means to connect, right? To relate means to connect with yourself. How do you, as a man, as a male, as a masculine, how do you connect to yourself? And it's so beautiful and it's so divine because as I came up here to get ready to post this podcast and to do this video, um there was this man who came up here with his child because I was asking God, like, send me signs and send me confirmations, right? And there was this man with his two sons who came up here and was playing with his kids, and they were riding the go-kart around um in this big open space, right? And then there was another man who came up here on a motorbike with his daughter, and he was playing with his child, and it was just such a beautiful confirmation, right? And so in those moments, it's just like it makes you think. It makes you think, right? So as a man, how do you relate to yourself, right? How we relate to ourselves, right, as human beings, how we relate to ourselves as human beings hugely determines how we relate to others, right? So if you as a man have a healthy relationship with yourself, then that healthy aspect of relation connecting, right, is going to also veer off into how you relate to your children, how you relate to your spouse, how you relate to your friends and your siblings and your parents, right? So again, I asked my beautiful, handsome, amazing, wonderful men, how do you relate to yourself? How do you relate to your manhood? How do you relate to your masculinity? Right? What are some things that you enjoy to do just because you are a man, right? I'm a man, and this is something that I like to do. This is something that I enjoy doing as a man. This is for me. This is for myself, right? This is something that I do for me as a man. What are those things that you relate to as a man, right? I have a healthy relationship with of men in my life, right? And so some of the things that I see the men in my life do, they get together and they bond as brothers. They bond as men, and they talk about the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, the right and the wrong, right? So how do you as a man relate to yourself, right? What are some things that you do in your manhood, in your masculinity, to connect to your authentic self? What are some things that you enjoy doing? Do you know? Are you aware of these things, right? So outside of those men getting together and bonding with one another, they also have healthy relationships with self. So they know who they are. They understand to the best of their ability what they're feeling, right? They understand what they're feeling, right? They understand their feelings. Broken phenomenon, my beauties. Broken phenomenon. How do you relate to yourself how do you relate to your emotions as a man, right? This is a broken phenomenon. This is something that men are often told that they can't do or that they shouldn't do. Is men men shouldn't have emotions, right? This is what men are told from 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years old. You should have emotions. Men don't cry. That's in order to cry or to shed a tear. That's sissified. That's you being a punk. Um that's you being too emotional, right? But before you are anything, you are a human being, and before you are anything else, you are a man, right? And so it's like as a human beings experience life through emotions. So imagine, right? And some of you may not even have to imagine. Maybe this is something that you've lived your entire life doing, bottling something up for 20, 30, 40 plus years. And then one day you snap. One day you explode. And that 20, 30, 40 years of built up tension and emotion literally comes out of you. Imagine if you're watching this right here and now, and if you are a man watching this here and now, I give you permission. I give you permission to cry. I give you permission to share and experience your emotions. I give you permission to not feel shame or guilt for being a 40 plus, 30 plus, 20 plus man who needs to cry every once in a while, right? I give you permission. Shed those tears. Go out and scream and yell and shout, right? Release, my beauties. Release, right? It should be illegal. It should be illegal for a man to have to hold up and ball up all of those emotions all in one, right? So again, my beauties, how do you relate to your manhood or to your masculinity? What are the things that you're doing to share and experience and express your emotions, right? What are the things that you are doing that are helping you to connect to your emotions, right? And here's another one that many people oftentimes don't talk about. How are you as a man connecting to your femininity? Mm, mm. How are you as a man connecting to your femininity? How are you connecting to your softer, more gentle side? Because being a man isn't all about being strong all the time or being firm and stubborn and prideful and egotistical, right? That's not what being a man is about. Broken phenomenon. Broken phenomenon is all about the lies that we have been told, the illusions that need to shatter about how we have relationships with self. Our mission for broken phenomenon is to help identify the broken aspects of the relationship with self. And by breaking the connection to old patterns, beliefs, and traditions that are no longer healthy for the overall well-being of person and those affected. Mm. How are you as a man connecting to your feminine side? How are you as a man connecting to your softer, more gentle aspects of your being? How do you relate to yourself? How do you connect to who you are as a man, right? There are many things that men are often told are unhealthy as a man, right? Hugs, kisses, holding hands, certain types of affection, right? And connection. You know, you're told that those things are gay. Those things are too feminine. Those things are too soft, too gentle. You can't do that and be a man at the same time, right? Who defines what manhood is? How are you allowing your manhood to be defined? Is it being defined by your environment, by your family, by your friends, by your associates at work? How are you allowing your manhood to be defined? And here's how you'll know. Here's how you'll know when your manhood is being defined by everything and everyone else but you. If, say, you stayed up late one night and you decided you wanted to sleep in for an extra hour in the morning, longer than whatever time you usually would get up. And the first thing you thought about was, man, what would my boss think? Man, what would my mama do if she found out I was sleeping an extra hour? What would my wife say if she found out I slept in today? Man, what would my kids think of me? If those were your first and or only thoughts that popped into your head, then that means too much of your decisions are being based upon what other people think and how other people feel, right? What percentage of your manhood is based upon what other people think and what other people believe and what other people feel? What percentage, right? So if you have a wife, right, say that's 10%, and then you have a job, that's another 10%, right? And then you have kids, that's 20%. Then you have a mother, that's 5%. That's 45% of your decision making. And that's just the basics, right? So in that moment, you're more afraid of losing whatever that dynamic of connection and relation is to those other people rather than you being more afraid to lose yourself. I would be more terrified of losing me. 1111 as I'm saying that. I would be more terrified of losing me, losing who I am, losing who I'm being called to be, losing who God is asking me to become, right? I would be more afraid of losing my purpose and my mission and taking my eye off the prize or the goal rather than having to make some adjustments in my relationships. And if you setting boundaries, if you setting rules or certain regulations that work for your best interest is going to run certain people away, then maybe they weren't meant to be there. Maybe there's some lessons for them to learn. Listen, y'all, this is what it means to have a relationship with self. This is something that is often not talked about. This is something that is often looked past. This is something that is often demonized, right? And made to be selfish, but that's another video. So my beautiful men, if you are someone who is struggling with your own manhood, if you're struggling to understand who you are as a man, because as I said earlier, as a man, you are a man first. You're a man before you're a brother, before you're a father, before you're a husband, before you're a son. You are a man first. So if you are struggling in your identity of understanding who you are as a man, then every other aspect of your relationship with everything else that you are connected to in life is ultimately going to fail. And that's facts. Every other aspect of your relationships with everyone else is going to fail. And if you're someone if you feel lost right now, then I want you to ask yourself, when did I start feeling lost? When did this happen to me? Where did this come from? And then I want you to pay attention to whenever that time frame it was that you started to feel lost or lack where you feel like your relationships lacked understanding. I want you to relate that also to when you lost yourself. You'll notice that when you lost yourself, those relationships started to also go downhill. It's hard to keep other relationships. It's like, let me paint you this picture. You are the foundation. Your manhood is the foundation for anything else that you build around. So if your foundation crumbles, so does the rest. If your foundation crumbles, so does the rest. Listen, I hope this message touched you. I hope this message helped somebody somewhere. Okay. But listen to me, my beautiful, my handsome, my amazing, my wonderful men. You deserve the truest desires of your heart. You deserve love. You deserve the world. You deserve whatever the world is to and for you. Right? I know men oftentimes spend so much time trying to give their woman and their children and their mothers and all these people, significant people in their life, the world, but they end up putting themselves on the back burner. You, my beautiful men, you too deserve the world. You too, my beautiful men, you deserve the world. You do. But it starts with you because you are the foundation. You lay the foundation for how the rest of your world goes. But that is the message. That is the message here, my beautiful, beautiful men. So thanks for journeying with us here at Just Talk. Thanks for journeying with us here at Just Talk. In purpose, for purpose, with purpose is how we move here on Just Talk. In purpose, for purpose, and with purpose. Thank you for journeying with us on another episode of Just Talk. Peace and love, my beauties.